All this shit on the internet about me too.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sarcasm Podcast episode number 33. We're here with Mo Mags. And of course, that is on there, dude. It's caught. This episode is in fact brought to you by Marinucci's Deli. Hands down the best deli in the city of Philadelphia. I don't even got to say it. But it is. They're coming out with a Sarcasm Podcast hoagie. Believe that?
Are they?
Sarcasm Podcast hoodie. Hoagie, I'm sorry.
Is it? I say a hoagie or a hoodie?
Did I say hoodie the first time?
I don't know.
I think I said hoagie. Learn McKearns. Air by Design Heating Coin. Thank you for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Mo Mags.
Hey.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I don't think you've been here since we put the curtains out.
No, I like the curtains.
The curtains it gives it a good
Great
vibe.
curtain.
Gives it a good vibe. So I know you reached out to me a couple months ago. Is that too loud? You got that? You good?
I'm actually not hearing anything.
Actually, I might have it down a little bit.
Yeah, for real.
My bad. Are you good?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, still nothing.
There's like 5 nozzles down here. I gotta
Nozzles.
definitely not that. Yeah?
No.
No?
No.
That's me. This one lost for you.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So she reached out to me a couple months ago. She has a pretty epic idea set up.
I do.
Am I messing with your volume?
You are.
Sorry.
Technical difficulties here, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know which mine. What's mine?
That's definitely mine.
Yeah.
Whatever one you were just fucking with.
Oh, there we go. There's mine. All right, we're good. I don't even give a fuck. I normally don't even have the headphones on all the time, but
Oh, okay.
because of that nagging buzz. But yeah, so you've come up with a project,
Yes.
which is actually 6. You showed me 2 designs. Why don't you explain the little bit of a project that you? I don't want to steal your thunder.
Thanks. So I had this idea actually a couple months ago on my way to the gym, and came out of nowhere. I don't know, but it sounded incredible in my head, and it's kind of grown into this whole bigger project since. So I've always kind of wanted to I've always wanted to first off share with other people, my life experiences in hopes that might help somebody else maybe going through a hard time or whatever.
Right. I feel like a lot of people don't speak up enough.
No, it's a lot of people I feel like don't have that ability to, talk to people. I know I didn't for most of my life. I actually just recently had to learn myself how to communicate with other people, like if I needed help or if I was going through a hard time, because I wasn't really taught that growing up.
Right.
And so I know a lot of other people also have a hard time with that. And so I kind of wanted to, take that and see if there's anything that I can kind of put that in a direction to help other people learn how to communicate and kind of live a better life.
Right.
In hopes that might
Now, give us an example. You showed me one earlier, which is, where do you see this thing? Are you able to show it?
Sure.
And then what was this, like, just for example, because it's a lot to follow.
Yes. So, and I do
But-
have a whole spiel here, but let me find it for a second.
That with the eye, thing's crazy.
Yes. Okay.
Like everything you need is inside. I think that was the piece of advice,
so
right?
The theme for this piece was
Crazy.
everything. Hold on, let me see here. Everything you'll ever need is within yourself. Now that quote was given to me by the person that this was designed for.
Oh, that's nice.
Let me see if I can.
Dude, it looks insane. So now that will be the tattoo for this
Now, this is
person.
actually the first piece that I have started already.
Okay, what you mean tattoo-wise?
Yes. So we just started this a couple weeks ago. I believe it was right after Christmas, before New Year's. So the whole piece is kind of themed off of that, and each individual component works towards that theme to overall show. It's it's big imagery kind of thing.
Right.
So I'm kind of trying to pull my tattooing into this, offering people life advice,
Okay.
sort of thing.
Now, when you say you have ideas for like the book, right? What do you mean by that? What do you?
So what I wanted to, okay, well actually, if you don't mind, if I can get into like all the specifics I have.
Oh, yeah. No, hell yeah.
So first off, where this started is that I have, last time I was on, I was talking to you about how my Nana passed and I had a lot of big things happening in my life. And I've been working towards bettering my life and my situation, getting myself on, in a good headspace and bettering my career and just everything that is putting me in a better place in life. And so this has kind of come from that. So the way I see things is that it's your responsibility as a living being to live and experience your life as wholly as possible. So that means, experiencing everything with as much focus and clarity as you possibly can. Here we go. Now we're louder. It means making room within yourself to allow the space to receive everything that you experience as it is. And it also means allowing yourself forgiveness for the things in your life that have clouded your experience, things that made it difficult to get through life in general. And sometimes it also means sharing your experiences with others to help with their struggles. So that's kind of what this is that sharing your own personal experiences.
Dude, imagine how many people kind of like need that throughout the day.
Right, and that, I get people in my chair every single day that are going through a hard time or, they're getting a tattoo to kind of represent somebody that had passed or something like that.
Right.
And all of these people have so many, like, emotions and things going on, and a lot of them are, they're in a rut, and they don't really have people to talk to or anything. And so people come in and just share their lives with me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's your average time in a chair?
Usually about 2 to 4 hours.
That's a long time to sit there in silence.
Right. And some people don't want to talk, and that's okay.
Right.
But it's a very intimate experience. I'm touching you. It's a very close contact kind of thing, and we're going over a lot of personal things because, well, why wouldn't you? And you don't have to, But I mean, if you're sitting that close to somebody for a long time, you kind of want to talk about something, and you can only talk about the weather and COVID so much.
Right.
It's boring.
Is that a big topic?
Huh?
Is that a big topic?
Always. I'm tired of it.
Really?
Yeah. If it's the day to day, it's normal now. You know what I mean? It's in life all the time. So that's what people talk about.
Right.
Happens.
What's the craziest story you ever had in a tattoo chair?
Ooh, I've had some stories, man. I don't even know. Honestly, people give me such bizarre things. It's hard to keep track of. Actually, you know what? Here, I have a good one. Okay, so a couple months ago.
Bizarre.
So my friend Jenny, I think you know Jenny.
Yeah.
So she brought her great aunt in. Right?
Okay.
And she's late 60s, early 70s, I think. And she's getting her first tattoo. And she starts telling me about her ex-husband, how he said that, like, she would be ugly if she got tattooed, and then he died. And then her boyfriend after that said she wasn't allowed to get tattoos, and then they broke up. And now she's like, you know what? I'm going to do what I want. And she tells me this whole elaborate story behind the spider that she wants to get tattooed over a scar in her leg. Then she starts telling me the scar is a bullet wound from this time that she was, like, she was at a church, like, vandalizing it or something, and they got shot at, and it ricocheted off.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, she's telling me, like, the most bizarre things about her life, with all this elaborate, like, she was on Broadway, and she was an artist, she did this, she did that, and she's just, honestly, the most fascinating human being I've ever met in my life.
I was about to say, I want to meet this lady.
Right? And the whole time, my friend Jenny's sitting in the background, like, rolling her eyes, and I'm like, oh, gosh, she's heard these stories like, a jillion times.
Who, the aunt?
Huh?
The aunt?
The aunt was getting tattooed. My friend was in the back, cracking up. It's just, okay, whatever, So then, she's awesome. We do the tattoo. She's like, loves me, gives me a hug, leaves, right? So a couple weeks later, I go over to visit my friend Jenny, and she was like, dude, that was crazy. I'm like, she's honestly, like, so fascinating. And she was like, don't listen to anything that she says. Everything is a lie. None of that happened.
Oh, what? I was so excited. I was
Damn.
like, she's getting shot at church and shit.
Right. Like, it was so specific. Like, I couldn't imagine that it was made
She
up. She's
like
no.
put herself in the scene of the latest movie she watched.
Exactly.
I had hopefully I don't know if she's watching right now, but I have a family member who had a father who recently passed, who's an awesome man, but he had some phenomenal stories. Like, he was on the roof of, like, when Kennedy got shot. Then he was a Texas Ranger. You know what I mean? Like, they were just great dude, but
Was he real? Like,
stories, no.
oh, okay.
Stories.
Yeah.
Just stories.
Right.
Nice.
So I think one time when I was younger, man, he asked me what I wanted to be, and I was like, yeah, I want to be a police officer. And then that's when the Texas Ranger story came in from.
Like, he was.
Like, I
he
used
just,
to be a Texas Ranger. Great job. And then just, went on about being a Texas Ranger.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
And like you knew the whole time that it was not
I
true.
mean, at the time I didn't know, but
oh, so you were like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, he's
I said, "Oh
Texas Ranger.
shit! How do you become a Texas Ranger?"
Chuck Norris.
Right. I'm dead serious. I'm not bullshitting you. But yeah, I can't imagine that. Did you start one of these tats already? You said you
so that
did,
one,
right?
Yeah, the one that I was just explaining is I've already started, and it's taken some time, because I'm really trying to I want these to really be like the best pieces that I could possibly do.
Right.
Because I'm also at the same time kind of cultivating what my style is as a tattoo artist, because I've always kind of replicated what I see and tried other styles, and I've ventured into a lot of different things. And I started out as a portrait artist, and I've been doing photorealism for most of my life. And since tattooing, I've kind of ventured into other things from there. So I've realized recently that, in putting all this work into myself and kind of finding myself in my life, I'm also trying to find myself in my artwork and really push that in a direction that is mine, So that's the other thing with this, is that I want it to be, creative. I want it to come directly from, my personal creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it
Right,
to look
right.
like the way that I want things to look.
Yeah, for
as
sure.
well as be something that means something personal to the individual it's going to, obviously.
So this is like your life's work right here. Then, like this is like the project that you'll be remembered for, and which I think it's a big thing for an artist. Like honestly, like stepping into yourself and finding like who you are. Because I feel like most of the time when you start out with something, you're always trying to copy other people that are doing well or that you like, and then you finally find yourself, and then people start using you as an inspiration.
Yeah, and that and that's
Damn.
That
Where the fuck that come from?
That's a big thing.
Shaking Adderall before you came in?
Nah, just a joke.
Damn, dude. That was lit. I fuck with that. See?
That was
Also,
very
this
well.
he is one of the smartest people I know,
Yeah.
No.
especially in history.
History.
Yeah, he pulls out all kinds of different generals and crazy people from history class, dude. It's kind of scary.
Pay attention.
History was a good thing.
Dude, that's insane. So that's sick. So let me ask you this. So what do you? So let's talk about your book. Have you given that much thought?
So that's kind of gonna come once I get the project moving a little bit. So what I want to do really is take these experiences that have brought some clarity and mean something personal to the individual and create imagery out of them to represent the growth and the lesson that came with the clarity from that experience, and then use that artwork not only for a tattoo, but then to put that in the book and then write a book based around these, pieces of life advice and kind of have that to offer to other people. You know what I mean? And that's
I have a crazy
to
idea.
do is write a book.
So your book, I listen. I have so many different ideas for books, and listening to your idea, where you want to go with the book. You want to go fictional, non-fictional, because you could write a story about that.
Yeah.
And just say it's obviously a fictional story, but based off of real ideas and real ways to get around your
Right.
your problems.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
But yeah.
I'm telling you right now,
Down.
my brain is constantly coming up with ideas.
I'm always down for ideas, man.
So
Just out.
the way your book's structured now, you would have, I guess it would be like the start of a chapter. You would have the piece that you did, and then a story behind that explaining that piece of life advice. Then.
Yeah, so what I'm kind of thinking, and again, it's all really developing as I'm getting into it. This is the first big move that I've made in my career and with my artwork, and really anything big in my life. And so I really want to make it a good thing, but it's growing as I'm getting more into it, as I'm talking to more people. Because originally what I wanted to do was, put up so many pieces of advice that I've written or that I've found, something that means something to me,
Right.
offer that up, and then have people, pick and choose if that means something to them. And then, it kind of comes from me as well. But I've talked to some people about it, some friends of mine. I have people volunteering things that mean something to them. So now it's kind of developed more into this focused on the individual as opposed to myself.
Let me ask you this. What's your best piece of advice? I know that's a very, very a wide range question.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's different types of advice for different situations.
Of course.
What is yours mainly based around? Just life in general, or?
So I think for me, the biggest piece of advice that has gotten me through like the last year.
So like tough times.
Yeah. It's really brought everything to a sense of clarity overall. It's just to take the extra second. If you are, in a stressful situation or you're going through a hard time or you're trying to make a bunch of decisions real quick, you just stop and give yourself that extra second, just that 1 second to breathe, get everything back in order, check yourself, and then you can make a more clear decision on whatever it is. And that's really general. You could use that for most things.
That's definitely it's definitely
it's difficult.
100%. A lot of people act on impulse.
Of course. And that's
like most.
What it's targeted at mainly, because most people want instant gratification. They want to, they want an answer to their question. They want a response to the thing they're doing. They want to have the thing that they want, whatever it may be. Some things take time, and that's the part that people have a hard time with, and they don't want. They don't want to wait for it. You know what I mean? But if you just give yourself a second, maybe you can make a better decision to get in an even better place than what you were hoping for with just that instant decision.
Right.
Or if you're going through a hard time or like in an argument, you're fighting with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever it may be, and like if you just stop and breathe for a second and go, do I need to be mad about this? Take that second to ask yourself a question, is there a better way to do this?
Right.
Then you can change the way you respond to anything. So
I like that.
See what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm talking about, dude? It's crazy.
Do what I can.
Dude, so what is the, would you ever consider doing like a fiction book?
I would. I have.
I'm talking like, I don't know, man. I just so many.
What are you talking
Bro,
about?
I'm
Like Narnia?
down. So I've actually also been.
Not Narnia, but like.
Narnia. I get where
like,
you're going.
I don't know, like
So
superheroes or something. I don't know. Or like supernatural shit.
yeah. When I was 11, I was going through kind of a hard time at home. My parents were fighting a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I had 3 other siblings, and there was just a lot of stuff going on in my house. You know what I mean? And so it was always just like, everybody knock it off when there's fighting, or like you just go do whatever it is you're doing. Like there's a lot of kids running around. It gets crazy. But because of that, I feel like I didn't get a lot of individual attention on learning how to communicate, and so I started having problems in school. And from there, I kind of started having breakdowns in class and whatnot. Everything was just getting really stressful. It was kind of the peak of like where really my like anxiety and things like that had started up.
Were you mean as a kid to other kids?
I was very mean until I was like 6.
I mean, like in school, school.
No, just at home. No, for everything I've been told, I was absolutely terrible. I was a nightmare until like 6 years old. They said I woke up one day and was just like the best kid ever.
Really?
Yeah.
My family's still waiting for that day.
It's just, I'll wait for that day, bro. Listen.
But yeah, so I started seeing my guidance counselor at school, and I actually saw her for an entire year, and she never heard me speak once.
Oh shit.
I didn't know how. Everything would just I'd get so stressed out, and I would shut down, and I couldn't respond. So she gave me a notebook, and she would just kind of leave me be. And eventually, I started writing, and that was one form of me getting out the things that were inside of me and stressing me out. And then from there, that was kind of our form of communication. So I never spoke to her, but I was able to communicate through word. And from there, that became like a regular outlet for me. So I've kind of been writing for almost 20 years now. And it's always kind of been something I kept to myself. Like there were certain things I would, post online or show my friends, or school projects were always like, I always got really good grades in English,
Right.
But it's always been such a personal thing, and it's so much personal stuff written out that, that's not always something you want to share with people. Mm-hmm. But using that now, where I'm at in life and the way that I interact with other people, I feel like I could really get some things across to people that maybe they need. Maybe that can help them, get into a better place in life.
Hell yeah.
So it's kind of, I want to incorporate all the things that I've always been able to do and enjoyed doing and I'm good at.
Well, did you ever have this issue in school where like, say you like write a, you have to write like a short story or like an essay or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you think it's like your best piece of literature work you've ever put forth ever. And you get it back with like a D on it, all red marked up. Does that ever happen to you?
Nah.
She's like, nah.
Nah.
Said I've been in a store
English
since I
was
stepped
my
off.
best subject. Got perfect grades all the time.
This is bullshit. Yeah, I put some thought in the stories, man, especially when I went to like CCP. and I had what the hell was it? It was like some English class, dude. Our final was like we had to write like some fictional short story, like 3 chapters or something like that. And I made this. I just concocted this story, and I was like, "Ew, this is sick! Like I could continue this, and it would sell out." And I got it back, and it was trash. Apparently,
It's trash.
it was absolute garbage. I know.
That sucks.
Yeah,
And I dropped out.
They say the best writers, they always get the worst grades.
Yours?
I mean, that's what they say. I don't know who
says?
says it.
You
I don't.
know?
They,
Oh, okay.
just they.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Those infamous they that
Yeah.
everybody says.
Nobody ever.
They
actually
say
says-
the best artists are misunderstood though.
Oh,
I would
absolutely.
agree with that.
I would agree with that one.
100%. Look at Eminem.
But you know what? I mean, even with
I don't
That
know if
statement.
that definitely fits the character. I think that was more of a
He's misunderstood.
pigment thing.
Pigment.
What do you
You
mean?
talking
He
about-
was never misunderstood. I mean, he was always lyrical, but nobody liked him because he was white in a black genre.
All right, you're going off track here. I don't know what you're
I don't
talking
think so, dude. You're saying Eminem's
You're
mis-
freaking-
I would say
He
somebody
said
like
that's a- he
somebody
said
like
that's
Kurt Cobain was a
that's
little
a pigment.
misunderstood.
That's a pigment issue. What the fuck are you talking about?
I deal with pigment issues.
Right.
You put colors in the skin.
Damn, Connor
I
took it to
forget what I was
another
gonna say
level.
now. Good job.
Yeah, you're.
I was just saying. I don't know if Eminem. I would put somebody like Kurt Cobain or like Jimi Hendrix in there, in that category of misunderstood artists at the time.
Right. Well, I would agree with you that definitely the best can sometimes go misunderstood.
Yeah. I think a lot of what that, though, is, finding your people that understand you. Because, I mean, a lot of the time, people like that. People who are very creative. I mean, you think of, like, Dali. Like, he was absolutely insane. At least everyone thought he was.
Who?
Salvador Dali, the painter. He did the melting clocks. My elephants.
He was in like the early 1900s. It was like the
Never seen him.
What do you mean you never seen him? You never seen the melting clocks?
Yeah,
No.
it's like a
Giant
clock on a
I got
thing. And it's
tattooed
like
over my shoulder. You've never.
No.
I think it was like the World War I era when he.
Whatever.
When he
My
got-
bad,
when he got
dude. I've
awards.
seen Picasso's
Anyway.
work and
Okay.
Emerald.
really seen
I've seen
Picasso
like
or
Emerald
like-
Lagasse. You know what I mean?
So you think of, a lot of the famous artists anyway, in general, and a lot of people think like, oh, they were crazy. Where did they get these crazy ideas?
Like, yeah,
from?
they're
Like,
definitely strange
come out
people.
with
Like,
No.
this nutty stuff. But you know
LSD,
what?
mushrooms, dreams.
Right. That doesn't mean they're insane.
It doesn't mean they're insane.
but I'm
Their
saying
mental
to
state
like
was
an-
influenced and creating imagery.
Right. Right.
That's, and people think they're nuts because what the imagery is weird. Is it weird though, or do you just not understand it? Because people who understand you're kind of weird are going to be on your level. You're going to be able to communicate with them better. You're going to feel understood.
Well, if you want to go deeper into that, we can go deeper.
Sure, go ahead. How deep you want to go?
Well, I feel like most of the reasons why people aren't completely understood is because I feel like society in general made a norm, and most people are taught to abide by that norm.
Sheep.
So you have the people that step out of the norm, 9 times out of 10, they're the weirdos.
Right.
Yeah, but then they create the new norm.
No, they don't.
They always do.
No way. Because the people that step out, I mean, history's proved itself time and time again. People rather follow than change direction.
Oh
Right.
yeah, as a majority. But if you
Right.
have somebody who has something that's good behind them, or not good behind them, I guess. If you have an artist who solidly believes in what they're doing, eventually, if it's good enough, it'll catch on.
Yeah, but who's to say it's good enough? People that think like him or
This-
the
the
norm?
second person, you know what I mean?
Think, musicians then. How many musicians have done something out of the norm and have then branched this new genre of music that has come into so many different things? Like Michael Jackson, for instance. He did something different than everybody else was doing, and so many different forms of music came
Right.
from that
Right.
because he decided to do something that wasn't normal. Whatever normal is. I think too many people have put this stigma on normal. Like, you're supposed to act like this. You're supposed
Normal's
to do this
not a
thing.
thing.
I hate normal. I don't like
Normal's
the idea of
definitely
normal.
a thing.
It's
I don't
not a
like being
thing.
normal, though.
Is not a thing in my opinion. Like normal, the word normal is just like, okay, a human's body temperature, 97.5. That's a normal body temperature.
I think it's 98.6.
Whatever, 98.6, 97.5. I don't know. Whatever the case
Sounds like
may
a
be.
radio station.
I actually think 97.5 is a radio station. That's
Yeah,
why I
is
screwed that up.
Is it
What's it?
Ben
What is
FM,
it?
I think?
98.5, 98.7.
I don't know.
It's one of them. But that's
Yeah, that's normal.
That's normal.
So normal is conforming to a type, standard, or regular pattern, characterized by that which is considered usual, typical, or routine.
What's the conclusion word there? Read that one more time.
Pattern.
No.
Conforming to a type.
Conforming.
There we go.
You're conforming to somebody else's broad idea.
Why?
That's
Because
basically
it's more
what it is.
comfortable to do what everyone else is doing because everyone's doing the same thing. It's uncomfortable to do something that not everyone else is doing. And that's why people don't do things.
Where do you think bullying comes from? Not conforming with the rest of the shit everybody else is doing.
Right. You know, and
I mean, obviously people are just assholes, but
well, yeah.
if you don't conform, you're going to get looked at in a certain way.
Yeah,
dude.
definitely.
You know what I mean? It's just,
I mean, even if you think like back in school, you know, you had your different like cliques.
I feel like
of people.
don't bully
No, well, yeah,
is a
don't
piece
bully.
of fucking advice
Don't
that I
bully would
want
be
to
a
get
great piece
done.
of advice. Yeah, don't be an asshole is a good one.
You know what I mean? Seriously. That's just like,
It's like one of the 10 Commandments or something. You know, don't be an asshole. That's all they're all saying anyway. All 10 of them. Don't be an
so
asshole.
wait, so this whole time I've been sitting here like thinking about a way we can make this into a book, dude. I'm not even fucking joking.
I'll write 6 books at once.
Just
Maybe
because
not six.
and it's crazy
Go on.
because it can go at least you know, you can probably finish it in one large book or drag it to 3.
Yeah.
The way I have it in my head right now.
Okay. All right.
The different symbols are different. We'll talk.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk specifics.
So you say don't bully, or like you don't like bullies, or like
Are you kidding me? Are you really asking me if I like bullies or not?
Who likes bullies? Do you like bullies?
I think
Are
it's
you a
like
bully?
I think it's like a necessary evil.
A bully?
Yeah.
Please explain yourself, Connor.
Well, I mean, all right. Let's say you got the nerdy kid, right? Who you know, maybe he's a little frail, like into some different shit. And then you got a bully. He comes along, he bullies him up. Well, then this kid, it either makes or breaks him.
Yeah, what's wrong with
He
being
either-
frail?
Avoid the
he
breaking.
either.
Yeah.
If we didn't have an asshole.
Well, yeah, but I mean, then the story's boring. Then there's no antagonist. I feel like there's got to be an antagonist for anything to be
Well, I
interesting,
mean,
right?
your stories are different than real life, though.
I mean, I
Okay.
think stories.
Well,
are
life
just
stories
real life
are.
story. Yeah.
Right. But, like, I mean, so, you know, I don't like to think that, you know, well, I got bullied, so I'm in a better place in life because I'm stronger. Like, no, I mean, you know what happened is I dealt with a fucking asshole, and then I got over it, and I went, well, I'm going to do better than that because they're below me. They're an asshole. I don't need them in my life. They're doing too much that's negative towards me. They're not benefiting my life in a positive way. So I'm going to remove that.
But who
They
would?
didn't do good for me. I did good for my damn self.
Well, let
because
me
I
ask
got
you
rid of
this.
them.
Well, here we go. Now, what would happen if you never met him?
That's what I'm saying.
Be
there's-
different.
There's got to be a catalyst in every
different. It
every
doesn't mean that
story.
it'd
There's
be
got to
better
be
or
something to
worse.
start it off.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think, you know, I don't think that we necessarily need, you know, direct negativity like that. Like,
Well, let me ask you this: do you think you'd be better? Do you think you're better because that happened?
I think that I have experienced everything I need to experience and learn everything that I need to learn to get to the point that I am here today. And, you know, that was definitely influenced by the
Right.
different interactions that I had, you know, but could I be in a better place if I didn't experience certain negative things? Absolutely. Could I have, you know, maybe not have to deal with issues I'm currently dealing with now had I not experienced them in the first place because somebody else decided to be an asshole? Absolutely.
Right.
So yeah, I think I could be in a better place in life. I don't think that I think you definitely need that good and bad to some kind of degree in order to understand what good is and what bad is.
Right.
But I don't think that I personally needed to experience such traumatic things in my life in order for me to be better. You know, I think there's a way that I could have learned the same lessons without experiencing that. And that is what this is based off of.
Okay.
Because if you can offer pieces of advice, say I went through something and I can share that with somebody else,
Yeah,
and
then
they
people
know
would
what to
be
look for later.
right.
They
People
can
would be
avoid
less
it.
inclined to go through with that certain thing. But I mean, let's be honest here. How many times, you know, has, you know, say a friend or a family member received advice that is based off of somebody else's experience and they took the advice?
Well, that's the difference between a wise man and a smart man. A wise man will learn off of other people's mistakes. A smart man will learn off of his own. So I'm a smart man. I've never been a wise man. I'm always a
Big
smart man.
things over here.
I need that antagonist. I surround myself with bullies. Most of my friends are bullies. You know what I mean? But they bully me,
Do you
and
think
I
that's
like
beneficial to other people?
Maybe not other people. I don't think everybody.
Do you think they should be acting that way towards other people?
No, they don't. They don't normally act that way to other. They only. It's like a. I guess it's like a small group. Yeah, it's like a.
Well, I mean, picking on each other is a little different than like being a bully.
Yeah, because you're friends.
Because you're being a bully, you have malicious intent.
These characters definitely have some malicious.
So they're assholes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're a whole bunch of assholes. That's
Right.
just my friend group, though. That's what. But I mean, I've always, you know what I mean. That's what I grew up.
I feel like there's definitely different types of bullies too, as well.
Definitely,
There's physical bullies, emotional bullies.
I think a lot of times it's that, they're reaching out for something.
What do you think is worse, physical or emotional bullies?
Oh, that is a tough one.
Oh, emotional all the way.
Because physical bully is like the guy you're walking down the hallway with in school, and they like push you into the locker, knock your books out of your hand.
Yeah.
They mess with you on the basketball court, whatever.
Yeah, but then like after the physical pain is done, like you might carry it emotional a little bit, but like then it's done after that. But like an emotional or a mental bully, that shit'll, you know what I mean? That shit'll keep you up at night.
Like if somebody comes straight for like your heart, you know what I mean? Or like something they know, they have that malicious intent, and their idea is to hurt you. They want to hurt you.
Right.
So they, say something mean or directly, somebody says something about a close family member of yours that had died, and there was absolutely no reason for it. That hurts internally, and without any kind of conclusion from that or having a conversation about, hey, like, why did that need to happen? That was unnecessary. But people hold on to those things. Like, they think about it. It becomes an obsessive thought, and then, like, for me, like, I get 1,000 thoughts going through my head every second of the day. And I will think about every outcome of everything that could possibly happen from this scenario and then come down to the most logical one and then obsess over that from there.
Right.
And if somebody has done something to me that's hurt me in a way that I can't just decide to get over, it's not like, okay, you called me a bitch. Well, people call me a bitch. I've been called a bitch 1,000 times before. Whatever. But if you say, like, wow, your dad's really an asshole because, like, he did this thing once that was dumb.
Right.
Like, because he chased me because I sat on his car. Like, well, you sat on his car. You know what I mean? Like, but you called my dad an asshole.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago, so what?
Right. So when you're 13, but that's not the point. But, like, you don't know my dad. Right. And you just decided to call him a mean name. Like, that's the kind of thing that's like, yeah, that could bother me. That could sit on me because you didn't have to do that. It was just unnecessary.
To clear the air, I love her father.
Right, it's great.
Never met him. However, the one time we were on, and by the way, Monica was on quite a few. Oh, Mo, I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
Was on quite a few podcasts. One, she was dressed as a very large bear. Remember that shit, the Halloween one?
The Halloween episode was great. I didn't say a word the whole time.
During the one podcast, we pranked her father as a fucking pizza guy, and he went along with it.
He pranked him back.
Yeah, he pranked me back. It was like
he had no idea what was going on either. I literally texted him. I said, "Answer your phone when it rings," and he was like, "Why?" I was like, "Just do it." And then he called. And he did the whole thing, and then my dad went right back with it, and then he didn't know what to do and hung up on him.
It was an epic fail.
And then my dad was like, "So what just happened?"
He outplayed you.
Dude, it was the biggest epic fail.
He's playing chess, you're playing checkers.
Dude, no
That's
shit.
what I said, yo,
he's like, large pizza. And he ordered something else, dude. I was just like, damn.
He had a whole order and you
did.
Because we called him as a pizza place, remember that?
Yeah. And you went along with it.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't even a prank, man.
I felt like I was like, damn, dude, I've been had.
Hell. Right? How often that happened?
You played yourself.
I know, dude. Damn.
Oh,
What do you think the worst piece of advice you ever got was? And the reason I asked you this is I just seen this meme.
Yeah.
And it says, people who say blank are very dangerous people because they don't give a shit about nothing.
So, like...
I'll tell you in a minute.
I think I know.
What is it?
It is what it is?
It is what it is.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I don't think that's a bad piece of advice.
Well, that's why I'm asking you. What do you think your worst piece of advice?
I don't know. There's so many bad pieces of advice. That's like the opposite of what I'm trying.
Right.
All right. So, I think that for this piece is a good piece of advice and a terrible piece of advice at the same time. So, my ex told me when we were breaking up that, you have to learn to love yourself before you can love somebody else.
Yeah.
So I've heard it 1,000 times before. You hear other people say it. I think it's a good piece of advice because you absolutely should love yourself. And when you have an understanding of how to love yourself, you understand how to love other people appropriately. But I don't think that means that you can't love somebody else.
No, I don't think I think it's just a bad place to be if you love somebody else but not yourself.
Right. It's unhealthy for yourself, and you may not be able to love your other person correctly, appropriately, in a way that, will have your relationship stand for anybody. And that could be friendships, that could be family, that could be anything. Like, I really think that relationships consist of two things that you shouldn't do. You shouldn't do something wrong, cheating, lying, doing things behind people's backs, whatever, the average normal things you shouldn't do in a
Well,
relationship.
let's break that down for a brief second. Obviously, cheating's a no-go because there's no reason you should just be in a relationship to begin with if you're cheating.
Right.
You better talk about lying.
I think there's like a different caliber of lying. Like,
I think there's fibs. And
hey,
there's
did you
lies.
check if there's tomato sauce in the cabinet? You don't feel like getting up. You're like, yeah, there's none in there.
Right. That's that is a little different. Those are those
there's
little
calibers,
fibs. Those
'cause
little,
I'm guilty of that.
That's you being lazy. You know
Well,
what I mean?
100% that's me being lazy for sure.
But if it's like, hey, did you go home and like let the dog out? And you went, oh yeah, absolutely. Like, your dog's probably gonna shit on the carpet. That's
right.
kind of a dickhead move.
Right. Or feeding
you know
and
what
shit
I mean?
like that. Yeah.
Hey, were you talking to this person? No. And you were. Like,
Well, see, that
if
falls
it's something
under-
that's going to cause a problem, and not like the regular day-to-day, I didn't check the cabinet for tomato sauce kind of thing, but like something that is actually going to upset your other person, like
Right.
in a really bad way.
Well, that
And
falls under the situation of cheating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's
those are, again, the normal things that you just shouldn't do in relationships.
I feel like the white lies can lead up to a bigger lie, though.
Depending on what you're lying about.
Or a
There's
bigger
levels.
liability, I guess. Because, like, if you tell white lies here and there, and then something serious comes up and they ask you to
what is a
seriously, it's
white
like
lie? Explain, please.
I don't know.
The tomato sauce thing is a white
Who
lie.
spilled that? Oh, the dog knocked it over. White lie.
More of a, brush it under the rug kind of thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So you're saying
this
it
isn't a
could
big
lead-
issue.
today.
It's not
Yeah.
a real issue. It's just like a,
Bullshit.
this is annoying.
Yeah.
Annoying issues, like, you can get away with those.
Pot sauce.
But real issues, real life issues, real relationship issues, things
Right.
that will actually actively upset your partner in a real negative way.
Right.
Those are the kinds of things you avoid. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
But like, oh yeah, no, sorry, I didn't actually check if we had tomato sauce. you can apologize and get away with that. You know what I mean? Ooh, no, sorry, I was sucking this guy's
But, like,
dick. You can't get away with that.
Not checking the tomato sauce can
I
be like
didn't
something
mean to
bigger.
blow
than-
him. It just happened.
I just fell and his dick
It
came
happened.
out.
I
I
know.
don't know what happened.
He was paying, and it's
Pause. What? No, that's a whole new set of problems if he's
What
paying.
was he paying for though?
no paying.
Peeing.
Oh,
Oh, paying?
pay-
Peeing or peeing? Both are two. Yeah, they're.
European, whatever one you want to think of. European.
We get the idea.
Yeah.
I can't.
Jesus. Take the wheel. Oh God.
So do you have a specific timeline on this project, or are you just letting it go as it comes?
I'm starting the project now. Like, I've already started my first piece for it.
Okay.
And I have a couple things that I'm kind of drawing up on my own, like custom designs, my own, my pieces of advice and whatnot. But it's, like I said, it's kind of developing more into this, taking other people's piece of advice and going from there with it. So, excuse me. So kind of the whole point, and make it a little bit easier for people to understand what I'm looking for with this, is to think of it as a piece of advice. Something that you would offer the next generation, someone going through a relatably difficult time, just things to help them through their experience. So like, what pieces of advice have helped you through the most difficult experience of your life? Those kinds of things. What's something that has brought you to a clearer, more wholesome, happy, healthy life? It's gotten you in a better place overall. What's helped you experience that fullness in life? And, it doesn't have to be worded any particular way. I've had people give me a single word, a general theme. I've had people just kind of explain their situation to me and what, maybe what the experience was. They told me the story. And, it could be that. It doesn't have to be this specific, let me put it in a piece of advice or a question form or anything like that. It could be a quote you've seen online, or an individual word, something from somebody famous or historic. Song lyrics, your own words. It could be any of it.
Let me ask you this: how are you going to put this out there though? Like, how are you going to are you going to create like a social media page for it?
That is a good idea. I hadn't considered.
You know what I mean? Like, it'll be like a kind of a self-help social media page where it goes with everything that you're saying. You give a quote that you want to potentially either just get the logo for say somebody lives in Missouri that wants to get a tattooed on them. They'll come to you. You do the logo, PDF it, whatever the case may be. I mean, like,
so I guess what I think he's trying to say is this going to be like an open and closed thing? Are you going to write a book, open, close the book, and that's it, or will there be a part 2, or is this something that can grow?
I do like to think of this as something that can grow, something it is growing. From my first thought of it to now has even grown into a bigger project than I had anticipated. So the book is really just for me to take these pieces of advice, this artwork, this imagery, and put it into the book.
So will there be a last
tattoo
page
catalog?
To this book, I guess
right.
Imagine that. Like, how people come flip through a book when they want to get a tat?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you flip through these logos, and then underneath is the logo or the meaning of this design.
Yeah,
Okay.
so what I'm kind of thinking is to have, like a picture of the artwork that, I personally do. Then the picture of the tattoo as well, with the piece of advice or the theme, listed at the top, and then kind of just an explanation. Whether it be, these people allow me to use their story as a relatable thing.
Right.
Or, like I said, I've been a writer my whole life. So even just to write, some kind of poetry or something to express then in word what these images mean. And, put that in, each piece in its own page or two.
What's the other one you had? What was it? The let go. What was it?
Letting go of anger.
Letting go of anger.
Drawn up. Yeah.
Badass.
That was just.
Wrist is fire.
Let me see.
With the hand, letting go of a dove.
Oh, I like that.
Let me see. Hold on.
I mean, I don't know I don't know where the ideas come from.
My brain, man.
Ew. Is that dope or what? You like that?
That's nice.
So I wanted to very clearly.
Did you do them flames yourself?
No, that's photo reference.
I was about to say.
I'm
dude,
still in the
holy
middle
shit.
of like piecing these things together.
Right,
so,
right.
That's still a rough draft kind of thing. But yeah, so I want these images to speak
Right.
what the theme is without using letters and words.
Almost like Pictionary.
Sure.
No, seriously.
Yeah. I've actually never played Pictionary.
Could you never played it?
No. I know.
Really?
I know what it is, but I've never actually played it out.
Like, could you imagine getting a tattoo where you can actually point out like the design and be like, oh shit, that could represent, letting go of like a bad past, or letting go of anger, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's might be onto something here.
Yeah. So,
Momags is onto something.
So yeah, so basically what this is just taking this piece of artwork, then the imagery, offer them as the tattoos. It's like a daily reminder of the strength and hope and clarity that has come with this experience, and to use all that for the book.
And
sort of a guide to a
other
better
people
life.
too could benefit as well from
Right,
that.
because and tattoos aren't for everybody either. And this could even be if somebody just wanted like the artwork, or if they wanted
Right.
in a different form. Like I'm not just a tattoo artist. I'm an artist first. I've always been an artist first. I like using different types of mediums. Even mixed media tattooing is even kind of the direction that I'm heading in.
Right,
different
right.
styles mixed together into one piece.
Well, let me ask you this: that first one with the eye, what was that quote again?
Everything you need is within yourself.
That would be badass, like painted on like a large wall piece with like the words underneath. Like I could see like that being in some like cliff house,
right?
in
And
like
that's what I'm
LA.
saying, as far as this growing, if this could develop into a bigger project, or people maybe bringing me in for wall paintings, or individual like t-shirt designs. Like I want to
Dude.
be able to grow with it.
Connor, NFT.
What, for these pieces? I mean, yeah, I think it would definitely be a...
Dude, do you know what NFT is?
Nah.
A non-fungible token? Explain.
So
Connor the man, explain, please.
Big words.
So a problem with artwork, as I'm sure you probably know, is plagiarism, right?
Yeah.
So people plagiarize other people. People try to copy it, but
Why are you talking so low, bro?
people plagiarizing.
Get in your mic.
But with a non-fungible token, so it's basically it's like in the crypto space, which I know you probably heard of, crazy Bitcoin and shit like that.
Yeah.
But with an NFT, an artist like yourself can publish a piece of artwork, and you'll forever be known as the original creator of that content.
Okay.
It's time stamped and everything. Like nobody can dispute it or refute it. You are the original owner of that artwork, and
So like a copyright kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
No.
So whoever, 100% a copyright thing.
Well,
so
yeah,
if
it has
if people
copyright
say
protection.
you publish that now, you publish that on the internet now.
Yeah.
Anybody could grab that and put it on a T-shirt, say this is theirs, and
Right.
make money off of it.
Yeah.
But with something like if you put it as an NFT, well, now it's legally bound to you or whoever owns it at the time.
Right.
So if you have legal rights over that, nobody can use it without your consent. So your art isn't taken out of your hands in a negative way.
Yeah. So I have kind of thought that direction a little bit, and I don't have like a full understanding of all of that because I haven't looked into all the information and specifics. But on one hand, I completely understand that and wanting to have the this is mine. You can't use it to make money off of it, whatever. But I mean, I'm also not really in the game of like this is my thing and it's mine and you can't have it and nobody else can have it and I need to make all the money off of it. I'm not greedy. And, my whole point is to share with other people. And, I look at other people's artwork all the time. And, like, I'll even use other things for reference. I alter them. I'm not copying other people's tattoos.
Right,
unless
right.
somebody, I work in a tattoo shop. We do like, walk-ins. People walk in and go, hey, I want this picture. And then that's what they want. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's part of the game. It comes with the shop. But as far as, like, my own custom artwork, like this kind of stuff, it's coming from me. And I'll use these reference images just to get, proportions correct. And usually I use real actual images. I'll go online and Google, a bear, and look at actual real pictures of bears, not bear tattoos or bear drawings.
Right.
That's where most people go with it, And especially in, certain kinds of areas, a lot of people they go online, they see a thing they like, and that's what they want. I want it to be more than that.
Right.
I'm sharing these personal experiences with individuals, but I also want to share myself and who I am and the way that I see the world as an artist. And, I want other people to be able to see that, but I don't think that I don't like the idea of having to claim it and like.
Well, no, you
be
can
greedy
always.
about
Well,
it,
yeah, I was gonna say
know?
there's other people that go completely anonymous. Like Banksy's really big. Do you know Banksy?
No.
He's a famous artist. He has one of his famous pieces is I think it's a little girl or a little boy holding a red balloon of a heart.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was sold for auction, which he never wanted it auctioned, but when it was sold for auction, I think it was for about $1.4 million it was sold for. And then at that point, he was in the room with a remote. He had built a shredder into the frame, so he shredded half of the artwork. As soon as the hammer touched the, I don't know what the fuck it's called. Whatever thing.
Gavel?
Yeah, gavel.
Okay,
The
yeah.
gavel and hammer. Whenever it touched the gavel, he shredded it right there. Now I think it's worth somewhere around $26 million. So it kind of had the
That's
opposite
insane.
effect of what he wanted.
Yeah.
He
that's
wanted it to
crazy.
devalue it because he didn't believe in the monetary value behind
Right.
art. But it just jacked it up more because it was on, live cameras and everybody seeing that half of
Right.
the painting had been shredded.
Damn.
But
So, like, for example, right? Like, there's we'll just give one. What is it? Bored Ape.
Bored so
Bored
back,
Ape
back
Yacht
to the
Club.
NFT.
It's a cartoon picture of a gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
There's, I think, the first release there was 10,000 different variations of this. Each goes for no less than like $210,000 each, just for a JPEG file of your drawing.
Yeah.
But you get there's other benefits to that.
Right.
You get when you purchase one of these things, you get an invite to a Discord chat, which Eminem's in there, Snoop Dogg, like all these famous people who have these JPEG pictures. But you don't have to go all crazy like that. Like
So I would think the NFT space for an artist like yourself would be more to have a following in a club that can also get value from your art.
Right.
So the early people that believe in you will be more valued later on down the line. You know what I mean? Like if you could buy a Picasso piece when he was 21 years old and still have all the value for that to, you know, when he was most famous or today.
Yeah, but dude, that's not all. The reason
I'm not just saying monetary value.
Well,
but
no,
I'm just saying,
the reason I had brought up NFT wasn't because let's fucking sell your artwork and make you a millionaire. Right. That's not why.
I don't care about being a millionaire.
It's literally
nice,
you can you can turn it into a legitimate membership, not just in your inner circle, but people all over the world who want to see your artwork and be motivated by it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for example, you create a Discord where you're in a chat room and whoever, you know, say, what's 0.01 Ethereum worth? Like $100? Or like
40
bucks?
Yeah,
something like that.
0.01 would
say
be
you
like
put it up for that, right? And you say you put up, I don't know, 25 JPEG files of this. All right, 25 times 40 is what? We don't know right this second, but we will in a couple minutes. But what I'm saying is that also gets these people into this Discord server.
It'd be 1,000, by the way.
Yeah, bing bong. Who will be able to share their stories, give new ideas that you will be in the original artist of the file, and it could grow into this large community. Hell, you know, the way you're explaining it, I am kind of envisioning it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like NFT, and you know, you'd be helping people.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. It's like because these communities behind people that they believe in, there's not a lot of support there, or like because anything you do, you need a monetary value behind.
Right.
So with a smaller community and like with something like an NFT, the people that believe in you most can benefit off of your success with you.
Right.
Instead of just being able
Imagine coming out with the original 7. Let's call it that. Let's go back to Sons of Anarchy. The first 7, first 9. 25 JPEGs a piece, 0.01, $40 a piece. You're making a couple grand, and you're getting, what's that? What's 25 times 9?
Times 9?
Yeah.
Be like 100 and, 225, I think.
You're getting 225 people in your Discord that can now offer their best pieces of advice.
Yeah.
Who can now...
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's just... And then, you know, obviously, I mean, I can't imagine those drawings take, you know, a short amount of time.
Yeah, they definitely take time.
That's
kind of, you know, and honestly,
that's what I'm saying.
It's some of them. It's really, you know, I read something and I have this vision, and and then I just have to put it down on paper or on my tablet, you know. And some things I really have to think about. There's certain pieces of advice that really take some thinking, you know. Even just a couple words. It's like but that, I mean, that's what I do for a living. People throw me words and I put pictures at them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Pictures help. Like if they have something particular they want for, you know, my normal day-to-day job, yeah, they show me pictures. I'm like, all right, cool. I could do something like that. But some people, I've had a couple people now, actually, they go, hey, if I give you, like, a poem or some song lyrics or something, can you make pictures out of it? And I'm like, yeah, it's a challenge.
Oh, right, of course.
Every single person asks me, well, how are you going to do that? Like,
of course.
That's the way my brain works. I don't know.
So with something like that, would you take the nouns into consideration? Like, I'd say, like, just something simple, like a haiku or a couplet, something small. Would you take the nouns into consideration before you took something else in?
So
wait, haiku or a couplet? What's that mean?
Couplet's a poem with 2 lines. A haiku it's a certain
certain number of syllables per line. So many lines.
Wow, like is that like a high school learning thing?
Yeah, I learned that in school.
Me
in high school?
Yeah, we had to write.
I don't remember learning that. I
mean, I'm not from around here either.
I must not have paid the fucking attention.
I don't think I learned that in high school.
I mean, I also went to North Catholic too. So.
Yeah, the Catholic. They probably didn't do haikus.
Good old NC, right?
They did keg stands and.
I think they were more concerned on how to spell the word fucking puny. I think so. You'd pass a test.
Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, taking the nouns into consideration is definitely important because, like, that's where like the structure of the sentence is.
Like that's what you imagine when you read it.
The theme of it too. Like, what is this saying? Without, you know, aside from these words, what does this mean? Is kind of more what I'm getting into with it.
Symbolism.
Symbolism. Exactly.
100%.
And, you know, each component that I'm putting into these pieces are to represent, you know, different parts of this theme or different pieces of it. So like the letting go of anger piece, it was, you know, the
Right.
fire is to represent that being angry.
Anger, right.
And you have the hand letting go of the dove, and the dove represents peace and hope, and that letting go, you know, that, or like
symbolism.
butterflies even, or that kind of a symbolism
Oh.
for that. So collectively put together, it is, I want it to read that quote, that piece of advice, that, you know, whatever, that thing that means something to you without using the words.
Now, see, I look at, like, when you showed me that picture, I interpreted it differently. I interpreted it like the dove is peace, and simply you have to let go of the dove for the peace to be free.
Mhm.
But with the flames coming from, I guess, would be like the wrist, I would say, like, the hatred,
base?
the hatred will burn you till there's nothing left.
Yeah, and you know,
So it's either you let go of the piece and you let it be free, or you hold it, and now
Right.
that dove will be burnt along with your hand. That's
Right.
the way I interpreted it.
and
though.
you know, everyone has their own, you know, visualization.
Mhm.
They take things and interpret them as they will. You know,
Damn,
so not
that's
all
a
these
mind fuck.
pieces, right? Not all these
I
pieces
just got
are
mind
going to
fucked
mean
right
the
there.
same thing to everybody.
Well, no, 100%. I agree with that.
But they're to invoke, you know, emotion.
Right,
and bring
right.
something
That's
out
what I
of
mean. That
you.
piece of artwork definitely like brought
That's-
something.
that's-
brought
Right.
a good memory from that.
Yeah,
because
because I don't want people to look at this and go like, "Oh, cool, look, a butterfly."
Well,
Like,
yeah,
I want them to
Yeah.
understand that that represents something. I want the image itself to be powerful.
Do you
and
paint?
that. I've actually never been much of a painter. I didn't like the fact that it wouldn't let me do the things I wanted to do. But I have.
Let me ask you, do you think you could paint that piece of art?
I think at this point, yes, I think I could. I think I could.
I'd put
So
money
here's
on
my
it.
thing.
I would
the
buy
ADD
that
gets in the
from
way.
you. The what?
The ADD gets in the way. And so painting is one of those things that takes a little bit more time, a little more patience, a little bit more effort than
Right.
a pencil, the way that I do things. And having that focus for long periods of time can get difficult.
Is that
you
instant
know?
gratification you were talking about? That
Yes. You know, and I mean, now because I've been tattooing for so long and like these pieces take time, like I tattoo quickly, you know that. But they still, some of these pieces can take hours and hours and hours. I have to sit there for hours and be creative. Do you know how hard that is?
I fucking bet.
Imagine someone says, "Hey, be funny all the time." Like, you don't want to be funny all the time. You don't want to be happy all the time. Like, things happen. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You got to
Be
write
creative.
yourself like. What you got to do is you got to set like a camera up, and in the waiver that they sign to get tattoos has to be in there. Nobody reads it.
They don't
That
ever.
they agree to be.
Never.
Yeah, no, you're just like, yeah, fuck that. Let me get some ink. Like you gotta write like you will get your big toe chopped off during the course of this, and they would have no idea. You know what I mean? So anyway,
Hey, listen, you signed off on this,
but like
man.
just like you were being videotaped during this entire session,
Yeah.
and then just as you're doing it, and you would probably go viral on this shit, dude. Set up a legit camera somewhere in your studio,
Yeah.
where when you're mic'd up, he's not going to be mic'd up, but he's going to be close enough to you, and just come up with a list of like puns or like stupid shit to say, and then like obviously the focus would be to get their reaction.
Yeah.
It would be like a compilation of all these goofy fucking things that you
Live
would
of a
say
tattoo
to these
shop.
people you're tattooing. and
There's,
shit.
there's,
Calm
there's
down.
something like that, but it's a barber. I think he's on. I know he's on TikTok. I don't know if he's on any other social media platforms, but
There's a bunch of barbers that do goofy shit.
He'll say,
They've rubbed the
say
lips.
something. Yeah, he'll do something very like sexual to the guy,
Yeah.
or say something very sexual, and it's usually in like more of a hood place, I would say, or a hood
Oh, yeah,
setting.
yeah.
Right, make it weird.
Yeah, and the dude's always like, "Fuck you mean by that?"
Right.
Like, yo, like pull, like, yeah, nah, like stop cutting my hair, like, and it's funny though.
Oh yeah,
Like, nah, I'm just kidding.
that would be fucking ingenious.
Yeah, no, the best
Wait
is
a
to get
minute.
something ridiculous. You just go, "Oh, this is what you wanted, right?" They're like, no. Like, "Oh, you didn't want to."
Is anybody in that back room right now that you're doing?
Huh?
Is anybody in the back room?
for my project
No. That,
wait, what do you mean?
In
The
your
shop?
tattoo spot on
Oh, yeah.
State Road.
in the back room? No, it's empty now.
Really?
Yes.
What are you?
What are your thoughts? What do you
I
think?
would love to do a somewhat of an Impractical Joker show, but in the tattoo chair.
Yeah.
And we'd be in the other room telling her what to say to the customer.
So kind of like a behind the curtains thing, like a.
It's literally behind the curtains.
Literally, there's curtains.
There's curtains
That's
there.
outsourced.
And we'd have a camera set up. We'd have her mic'd up.
Yeah, I'm down, honestly.
I think
Dude, and then obviously at the end be like, yo, listen, we're just joking, whatever.
And I have such a variety of clients too. Like some of them are like friends of mine, some of them are just like regular clients. Like they come in the shop all the time, and then I have people that are like new and have no idea who I am, or I've only been tattooed them once or twice.
Right,
so
right.
Like I get all different kind of people to get all different kinds of reactions from.
Dude, do you remember that time you scheduled me during a time slot when like this lady came? She was like, I took off from work to be here.
You know how that happens?
She goes,
did she make an appointment or did she just woke
oh
up?
yeah.
Oh, she made an appointment and everything?
Yeah.
I think so. Right?
Probably. I've had it happen a couple times.
Were you like double schedule somebody or like? Or you
we have a pretty good system now that doesn't happen, but it has happened in the past. Yes.
Dude, she got like a paper calendar and was like writing.
Google Calendar is great, by the way. Just
Is that what you have?
Oh my god, yeah, it makes everything's color coordinated and like it's
color coordinated.
So I got a work phone, and everybody is now at the work phone, so everybody can get in contact with me directly. My Google Calendar is right on my work phone, and I have an assistant to answer that phone, so I don't have to do shit.
So what, you have a work cell phone?
Yes, I do. A direct line.
So you have 2 cell phones?
I do. Super sketchy.
Damn,
One
dude.
for the phone, one for the plug.
It's
That's
okay,
what
my
I
boyfriend knows
It's
about
the,
it.
it's the brownies. It's the brownies she makes.
That could, oh my god, that could definitely be like mixed up. That like just having it all on your personal phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
getting a
Oh
phone
yeah,
call
you
or,
can't
like,
do
a
that.
text or
You
whatever,
can't
it's
do that
like
on your
phone,
personal
yeah.
phone.
Yeah, on my first one. No.
I mean,
But, like,
you'd
nobody
have to
has-
start out doing it on your
Look,
personal
people are messaging
phone,
me
just
about
like,
tattoos like 2 o'clock in the morning and shit. I'm like, you need to get off my phone. Get away
Dude,
from me.
nobody has landlines anymore. So there's no like, oh yeah, let me call the shop. Like nobody
I mean, we have one, but like,
got dust on it and
Anybody- does
shit.
anybody
right?
use
I
it?
mean, yeah, it rings constantly.
Does
You know?
it?
It really does. It's a business.
Doesn't even have an area code on
We've
the
been
number.
there for like 35 years. Like people know we're there. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
but no, I mean to get in contact with me directly. Now everyone gets a hold of me. That's how I like it.
I was gonna say, I feel like everybody, especially with like tattoo orders, like you're on Instagram. Like you're on Instagram,
Yeah.
you're floating around, you see somebody post something off of your page on their story, and you're like, oh, who's this?
Right.
And then you DM them, you're like, yo, you got appointments or whatever, or
Right.
I guess you got.
So
like,
my problem with
something
that is
set
don't message me on Instagram. It says right on the front page, don't message me on Instagram. I'm not gonna answer.
At least it has a disclaimer. though.
But it gives you the option to go to my phone and then you can text me from there. But I can't keep track of that many social media platforms to message people on when like I could really just have you all message me in the same place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like we've been transitioning everybody over.
who is so I don't know, we got a couple comments here.
Oh, okay. Hey, what's up?
Jillian Boggy.
Hey, Jillian.
Yo man, how's
Hey.
it going?
Good.
Brittany Anthony.
Yeah.
Hey Mo.
What's up?
Ryan James. Who's that?
Ryan James.
He said piece of advice, defamation as revenge is bullying.
I
What
think
the fuck's he talking about?
Body defaming as reverse is bullying.
What the fuck
I can't read it from over here.
I don't know.
How do we click on the names? We can't click on the names.
Fuck, I don't know.
I don't know.
This is all you. You're the guy behind the chair.
Well, this is Streamlabs. I have no idea how to do this.
Honestly, he's the
Sorry,
best
I'm
pals.
terrible with
Kelly
names
Cruz.
sometimes.
Hey, Kelly Cruz. How you doing?
Hey, Kelly Cruz. She's just in.
Do you know Kelly?
Yeah, she was just in.
What did she get? Did she get?
Can I
something
just tell you,
What's up with your hyper-realistic shit? How do you do that before you go forward?
how do I do that?
The hyper-realistic
Oh.
tattoos, dude. That shit is insane.
Well, remind me about Kelly Cruz because that was my next thought. So I have been a photorealistic portrait artist for most of my life. I've started focusing on people portraits when I was like 14. But it's always been that kind of like I recreate what I see. I always have. So like I have always learned by, following what other people do. Like how do you do that thing? I want to do it that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then now what I'm doing is taking those tools and things I've learned to find my own thing as a compilation. But so when I was 14, I was a freshman in high school, and I had to do a self-portrait for my first portrait project. And
So
I
you
hated it.
weren't tattooing at this time, though.
No.
I
not at
was
14, no.
confused. That's what I was like. You were like 14 doing portraits. I was like, what?
Yeah, so I had I did this portrait and I hated it. I thought it was awful. I didn't think it looked anything like me. Looking at it now, I'm like, oh, that's not bad. But at 14, I was just like, no, it's terrible. And so then for the next 3 years, all I drew was people, because like I needed to, I felt like I needed to figure out how to do it. And I did this portrait one day. My dad was like, hey, it was really good. The next day I did another portrait, and he was like, oh my God, you figured it out. Like it just happened one day. I was like, oh, that's how we do portraits. Okay. now I could draw other stuff. But it takes a lot of doing sometimes to, you know, learn how it's a learning curve, you know what I mean?
Oh, right.
And there's, you know, different forms of shading and different everything.
I feel like that's the hardest part is the shading.
Shading is a lot. It really depends on what you're doing, you know what I mean? But like usually what I'll do is I'll create a very minimal stencil, just an outline of like basic shapes. Where do these things go? And then all of my shading is like specific. Like that's where all the detail comes in. It's hard sometimes when people are looking at just a stencil for a tattoo and they're just like, oh, well, like, where's all the detail? It's like, well, I'm not going to do a full color rendition for everything that I do. But the shading will go in. You know, that's where it comes alive. And that's what I like seeing. Is, you know, this line work to full piece. And people are like, oh, how did you do that? Well, that's what I do.
So we got Dennis Pitcher. What's up, Den?
What's up, Dennis?
You know Dennis?
Yeah. He's coming in soon.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Yeah, hey. All right, so wait, Kelly Cruz. Yeah, let's get back to...
Yes,
yeah, Kelly Cruz.
So,
what did she get done?
She's got a couple things done recently. But she recently got, the last one, a couple weeks ago, she got a raven with a purple chrysanthemum.
What's that?
A flower.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Double Azianthus.
So she came in, and this is another one of those like relating with my clients kind of thing. We don't always talk a lot. She just kind of sits in the chair and gets tattooed, and she sits like a rock, and it's fucking awesome. She's super cool. But I have a tattoo. Huh?
Not like me.
No. You're terrible. You talk all the time.
Dude, I was bitching on my foot, dude.
Hey, oh, yeah, the foot's rough.
Your foot?
I was bitching heavily. I was like, yo, we got to chill for a minute. Wait a minute. Wait.
You're a bitch, dude.
Dude, I don't care. Get your fucking foot done, dude. You're out of your skull piece.
I got a piece of my foot on.
But anyway, so I have this tattoo playlist, which I'm constantly adding music to, and it's just a wide variety of music that I enjoy, and like I get a lot of different people in my chair, so it kind of gets a little bit of music for everybody, and it keeps me on my toes while I'm all day. I'm not like stuck in the same thing and getting bored, while I'm tattooing for long periods of time. And this song came on my shuffle randomly, and she was like, "Oh," and I looked up, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. This song was the first song that came on in the car after my grandmother's funeral, and this tattoo is for my grandmother." And like everything just lined up, and that happens all the time in my chair. Constantly, people are getting tattoos for a certain individual or like something that means something, and my music will just like line up with it, and then that opens this conversation, and then we start talking, and then it becomes more personal.
Right.
And that's what the point of all of this is.
Damn.
And I love when that happens.
But that is kind of eerie, though.
It is a little bit, but it's okay. It's whatever.
You have a death wall.
I had a client one time, she was getting a tattoo for her husband. The last time she came in, she was telling me about her husband and how he passed, and it was a whole thing she was going through. And she wanted to get something for him. So she came in for this appointment.
Right.
His nickname was Tidal Wave. So she wanted to get like a watercolor wave on her shoulder with the name Tidal Wave underneath it.
Do you I'm sorry, do you know how he got the name Tidal Wave though?
I do not actually. I don't remember
just
asking.
Something that would intrigue me. I'd be like,
okay.
Because that's not like a normal nickname, you know what I mean?
Right, it's definitely, I feel like there's a big story behind it, and now I'm kind of disappointed I didn't ask.
He was definitely a big man. That's
he had a huge cock.
She's
huge, huge cock.
What's going on? I'm just saying maybe he might be a big
You don't
guy,
earn first of all, you don't earn
cannonball in a pool. They call him Tidal Wave.
No. You do not earn the name Tidal Wave by being a big body rude boy. You do not do it. You got to be blessed by the best. His
wife is a fantastic person and obviously a very strong-willed woman, and she's great. So anyway, whatever. So she's getting this tattoo, and we're sitting there, and she's just real quiet, just, sitting like a rock. And the song came on in my shuffle, and it was Pat Benatar. And
what Pat Benatar?
Oh, crap, I just forgot it. Was it Heartbreaker? I think it was Heartbreaker. Well, the first line of the song is, "Your love is like a tidal wave." And I was like, yo.
She started crying?
I started cracking up, and she got her eyes closed. She looked at me, and she's like, what? And I was like, you didn't just hear that? And she's like, what? So I told her, and then she was like, oh my gosh. And yeah, she started getting emotional, and she was like, he's here. And it's just one of those, like, big moments for people. Like, this, I'm doing something important to me for somebody. It means something. And that just kind of, like, really solidifies it. You know what I mean? And it's a big thing for people, and 100%. That is that evoking emotion and connecting with people on an intimate level. And when things line up like that, I just that's what I live for, and and I love it.
I was about to
Okay.
say, like, it definitely has to be kind of hard separating from just being work and then, like, actually, like, divulging into your art
Yeah,
at the same way. Because you get so emotional with these people, but then at some point you have to send them off. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
you know, and that's hard. 'Cause, you know,
Mhm.
we share these big experiences and these good times, and you know, we're laughing, and you know, and they gotta go, you know. But then, like, you know, I get to take that with my day, and they get to take that and go on with their life, and I can hopefully leave them better than they came in with. You know what I mean?
That's
I
a
get people
beautiful
all the
thing,
time.
yeah.
Again, they don't know how to communicate or talk to people, and they'll come in and they'll just spill their whole life to me. I know so many things about so many people.
Dude, I bet. Dude, sitting there for multiple hours getting tattooed. And I know we touched on this earlier, but like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's just almost impossible to sit there quietly
Yeah.
to endure pain.
You know, some people do, but like,
Unless
Most
you're
people
listening to music, though.
yeah, you know,
If
and
you
some
got
people that's how they
music
focus.
on your headphones.
like,
That's a big thing.
check
I
out.
like I from like my friends and stuff like that. They're always like, yeah, I just throw in my AirPods or whatever and just rock out or whatever. Like they
I think
do
it
their
really
thing.
depends on the artist too. Like, I mean, because the other thing with tattooing, because it's so intimate, I feel like you have to have some kind of a good relationship with your artist. You have to have trust in them. You have to be patient with them. You have to like be on a certain kind of level.
Right.
Because like, yeah, I could have anybody walk in and get anything tattooed and go, yeah, okay, here you go, I'll take your money, bye. I'm not that person.
See,
Like,
that's where I feel like that's where it's just a job where you like
This isn't a
you
job, I
carry it more than just having a job. This is
Yes.
definitely not even a career. This is just like your passion.
this is what you said earlier. This is my life's work.
Yeah.
I have spent my entire life to get to this point. And now I have an opportunity to say something. The one thing that I've never been able to do my whole life. I can say something and I can reach out to people and, you know, hopefully have them be in a better place because of something that I've experienced, something I can share with them, something I can leave them with to take down the road and have that memory to look back on every single day and go, you know what? I accomplished this thing, or I got past this thing, or this was a big, hard thing in my life that I had to go through, and I came out on the other side of it, you know, and then when other people look at it, I want them to go, oh my gosh, wow. That is a powerful piece. That is a big thing that, you know, I can feel this kind of thing from that. You know, I want people to take their own emotions and thoughts from that and to hopefully, you know, either share with other people or just get themselves in a better situation or, you know, maybe feel more comfortable talking to somebody or take that step. You know, people will have all these ideas and things that they want to do and nobody ever does them.
Right.
It's like, yeah, that sounds cool. I would love to do that.
Reese really saving the show right now.
I know.
Are we back
Dude,
on now? Are we back?
we are in fact back. Something happened with the mixer right there.
Damn. We're gonna get that looked at.
I don't
We're
know what
good?
that is.
People here?
Oh yeah, I can see it bouncing. We're
Okay.
here. We're
There's
good.
Kay here.
We're good to.
Hey, guys.
You're back.
Yay.
Thanks,
Sorry about
Reese. Appreciate it.
that. All right, cool. Thanks, Harm.
We're back.
Hey, cool. Where were we?
All right. Jesus, I'm so sorry because that like clicked in my ear,
Yeah, I heard it.
and then the screen went black real quick. And then that was, damn.
Strange.
Shit.
That was a goofy situation.
Rolling
Weird.
blackouts.
It's weird that we're talking about like crazy shit here.
That's what I do, man.
No, listen, seriously, like about the whole, the song will come on, you're getting it tattooed by
Things line
somebody, it reminds them.
And
Then everything goes black,
Right.
dude. I don't know.
sorry.
Think the
My
FBI's
bad.
watching or something?
That's
like
sauce,
Those
dude.
things happen, man.
That's sauce. So let me ask you this real quick before we end this. What are we thinking? Like, how are you going to do a Instagram page where people can reach out? I mean,
so
like how
that's a good point. I think it's something that I'm going to think about. Right now, to start, I'm going to post all the information on my Facebook page and my
Instagram?
Yeah, so that all the information will be there. It's still going to be the same form of contact as far as going through my phone, which that information will be there. But all the specifics on how to be involved in the project if you want to be, and what kinds of things that you might want to offer. Basically, I'd like to have people come in, have a sit down, and actually have a conversation with people to get an idea of something that's they're gonna that's also along with the theme of what they're going for.
Right.
So, but yeah, all that information will be on Facebook and Instagram. Hoping by tomorrow, then everybody can reach out and see what's up. I'll put some examples up and everything on pieces that I have or things that I've been offered from other people on projects that I'm currently working on. And yeah, I don't have a limit on this. I don't have originally it kind of started. I wanted to do a 10-piece project, but now it's grown into this big thing. So I'm
right.
I don't have a reason to not.
Now,
stop,
would you consider these ones that you're doing prior to announcement? Would you consider them test pieces?
In a way, yeah. So,
But I feel like they're definitely better than test pieces. I feel like it's not
So the whole point is to not only, like I said, cultivate everything that I've learned and the different styles and things to create my own style. It's also to kind of figure out where do I want to go with this, what kind of imagery am I looking for, and getting my headspace in a focused place to make these the best things that I can make them.
Well, I would say if you are willing to take a piece of advice, don't buckle down. On
she just spent an
being
hour
I know.
saying that she's welcome to all pieces.
I know.
Of
That's what I'm
advice.
looking for.
Don't
I'm
buckle
here.
down on being so focused on something. Let your mind run a little bit.
Well,
and
that's
then,
the thing with it. I don't want to. I'm not going to rush to creativity.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I want people to understand that I need patience from you. I want to sit down, have the conversation, get a feel for it, and then I'm going to let the creativity run in its own time. So it may take some time for me to get to your piece individually, because it might take some time for me to get in that headspace to have an understanding of where I'm going to go with this.
Right.
To get the right components together to represent best what it is that you're saying to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what I would also like to do just for fun, which means that people do have to have trust in me, is I would like to keep the designs to myself until people come in for their tattoo.
For their actual reveal,
Yes.
or like beforehand or after, before you put it on.
You come in
That's
for your
crazy.
piece. We'll sit down, have the consultation, kind of go over everything, and when I'm ready, when I have the design ready, then I will contact the people to set up an appointment, and when they come in is when they get to actually see it for the first time. Because this is, again, it's an emotionally invoking thing, and I want to get the full reaction out of it at once. I don't want to show people, because the other thing is, the problem, I think, in tattoo shops a lot, and for people just, I want to get this thing, they see it, and then they think about it, and then they talk to their friends, and then they get other ideas, and people go, oh, you should do this, and then, they're not getting what they want, they're not doing what they want, they're influenced by other people. I don't want any influence from other people. This is
Let me ask you
specific
this.
to you.
What happens if they don't like it?
I mean, I'm not opposed to altering designs
Just
to
see
work
then-
with the client. I still want the client to
back to the
have what
drawing
it is
board.
that they're looking for and they like, And
Right.
usually what it comes down to is simple things. Can we do this over here? Can we maybe add one of these? Or, I'm fine with that. I have no problem altering to fit the person, but I do want it to be my custom work,
Right.
So.
They're not going to give you something off Google.
Right. I'm going to ask people for recommendations and things that they might want in it, or, what is it that you don't want? What do we absolutely have to avoid? And, where are you looking to have this done? The basics of the information.
That's
so
a good
it's
way to
not-
word it, though.
Right. So I'm not
'Cause
just
it's
coming up with a
like-
piece and going, this is where it's going and you have to get it.
Yeah.
Where do you want to get this tattoo done? Because then I can draw it to fit your body structure as well.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? So I want it to fit the person. I want it to be completely and wholly for the person individually. So that way it's,
And I
It's
feel
for
like
them.
I feel like people are more inclined to say yes when you ask them no.
Yeah.
If you're like, would you be opposed to getting this on your arm? They'd be like, I wouldn't be opposed about it, but you know what I mean.
Maybe we could do this.
Yeah,
or
maybe
whatever.
we could
You
do
know,
something, and then
I'm
you can
fine
work with
that.
them. And I feel like it's a better negotiation point
You
to
know, I
start
feel like I
on.
run into a lot of artists that are just like, well, this is my piece, and I'm going to do it, and we're going to do it this way, and that's it. And they give their client nothing.
And that's
Like,
a lot
that's
to
not-
ask for
It is
somebody
a
because you have to
lot.
carry that.
This is a permanent body modification.
Exactly, yeah.
This is going to be on you forever. It's important.
So Reese says gives them less time to pick it apart as well.
Yes.
Then Kelly said, "I need in ASAP." She needs
Kelly?
in ASAP.
I will get in
100%.
contact with Paul and have text you as soon as possible. No problem. I got you.
Bing
We
bong.
got you, Kelly.
See. So, if I
Bing
may
bong.
have a finishing line here quickly, because I did have one big thing that I wrote.
All right, let's hear it.
So my goal with this project is to share my existence with yours, to share my personal experiences with you, and to allow you to share yours in a safe place.
Right.
I want to share a few real moments with you and send you on your way with better than you were, with a reminder that you're strong and beautiful and have so much more to live for and offer than all of the things holding you down. There is life out there, and it is our responsibility to live it, and I want to help others find their way to living it better. And that's what this project is.
Hell yeah.
Also, this project is called Don't Forget to Live. I named it today.
I like that sound.
Thought about it on the way over here.
I did, you know.
It's the best shit.
That's it.
ever.
I was going to ask you too. I was like, what's the
Don't Forget to
the
Live is
name?
the project.
So that's gonna be the.
Did you
the
come up with a
name that
logo
people
yet?
Look up. Don't
No,
forget to live.
that's the next step. I just got the name, bro. I will get a logo.
She goes
though.
from words to pictures, not pictures
Yes.
of words.
Dude, I feel like the logo should be like something that has to do with
Not forgetting to live.
the galaxy and how small the world is,
The galaxy is definitely a big part of my
to like
direction.
understand. You don't understand. Dude, we're like the size of a fucking microbial bacteria compared to this.
We're
fucking
much
Earth.
smaller than that.
Whatever the fuck it is.
I was about
You
to
know what
say-
I'm
Depends on where you're
saying?
I was going to say, you understand the sun is like 56 million times the size of the Earth or something like that, right? That's just the sun in our solar system. Not
All right,
even
all right.
including
Relax.
our
You know what I was saying.
Okay.
Yeah. We're extremely small. We're
You're
smaller
like my
than
fucking
anything
wife.
small.
You pick apart everything I fucking
Absolutely,
say.
I have to. I'm the co-host. You know what I mean? You
Jesus.
got to pick each other apart. So it's along with that bullying thing. There's got to be an antagonist, or you're not going to get better.
The antagonist. He's not Italian, but he talks Italian. Hey.
I can speak that.
Let's do it. I'm so pumped to see it.
All right.
Let's get this stuff on social media. Let's get people on you. We will for sure talk about you. Talk to you about possibly NFT, getting you a Discord. I mean, even if you don't do an NFT, you could still do a Discord and get people in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I'll look into.
You know what I
Definitely.
mean?
Just
To
have
do
that,
it.
I think it's more like
It's a networking thing.
Yeah.
It's a
like
community.
networking thing.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure, after this, there's going to be a bunch of people like trying to get some stuff, sending you, different pieces of advice, different quotes,
I hope so.
things like that. I mean, dude,
I wanted to involve the
just
public in this. I'm not trying to keep it to myself. The
right?
whole point is to share with other people.
100%. I
network and connect.
To get as much perspective as you can.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love the idea. If I had one,
What would your piece of advice be?
honestly, it's cliche, but like get back up. You know what I mean?
Get back up. I like
It's a good
that.
one.
Yeah.
No, it's just not. I'm somebody being cheesy. It's being serious. You know what I mean?
yeah,
'Cause,
no,
like,
no,
none of
it's
it's
let's
cheesy.
get back up.
If it means something to you and
Right.
it can put you in a better headspace, it's not cheesy.
Right.
It's said a lot because it's beneficial.
You could also settle on different categories as well too. When you're doing these different designs, do you want it to be serious? Do you want it to be
Light and playful.
light and playful, comedy? Like you want it to be funny?
Yeah.
Like for example, get back up. I would, pull your pants up and keep moving.
Pull your pants up. That's what I
That's a
like.
good-
That's a different.
Pull your
that's a-
pants up and keep moving. It would be like
I would've never thought
like
of
a
that.
silhouette of like a shadow, just like holding his pants.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
that would
doesn't
be like
have
a
to
funny.
be serious. It still has to mean something,
Right.
but it doesn't have to be serious.
100%.
'Cause some people want ridiculous tattoos, and I am down for that anytime.
Dude, listen, I love the idea, and I want to seriously thank you for coming on here to announce what you're doing. I'm
having
actually excited to see where this goes,
Thank you.
how it plays out, see some of these sick ass designs.
we'll definitely be watching closely to see where you go with this.
100%.
Thank you. Do you have a piece of advice you would offer?
Me? Mine's kind of old and stoic, but
That's fine.
don't be a bitch.
Don't be a
Any
bitch.
situation you ever find yourself in, if there's a cute girl at the bar, don't be a bitch. Just go up there.
So I'm
Confidence.
thinking. So if we're tossing logo ideas for that, don't be a bitch would be like a no smoking sign or something, like the circle with the X through it, like next to like a female golden retriever.
Female, where did you get that at?
A bitch.
A bitch.
Female
Oh,
dogs,
there
bitch.
you go. Female
Yeah,
dogs.
see?
Like don't be a
Symbolism.
bitch. That's
He gets
exactly
it.
what I'm talking
He
about.
gets it.
Symbolism. Seriously.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean.
'Cause you
I'm not
you
a
can't-
creative mind. Mine would have
You
just
can't
been
create, like, can you really, let's be honest here, last question. Can you create don't be a bitch into like a legitimate design?
I can find a way to make that work. Now, if I find a way to make that work, will you get it tattooed?
100%. You'll be one of 2 people to ever tattoo my body.
Down.
Really?
Challenge accepted.
If
Hold on, let me make a
if
note
you can,
real quick.
yeah.
That's the same thing too. She's the second and one of 2 people to ever tattoo me.
The only one.
And
now.
the only one now, but most of my ink has come from Monica
What's that
here.
again?
Don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch.
Actually, we're gonna be going live on Instagram. She's tattooing me right now, right after this.
I am.
I'm
Have a good time.
stoked.
Where are you getting tattooed at? Let them know.
On my hands.
On my hand.
On my hands. Bing bong. All right, so look, thank you so much for coming on, Mo. You're a goat, greatest of all time.
Yes.
Not like
I need a trophy
animal.
with that. They have them on Amazon. I expect one next time.
a goat trophy, really?
Yeah, it's a goat, and it says GOAT. Greatest
Ooh.
of all time. Yeah.
Should we just get like a
Yeah.
bunch of them and just hand them out together?
That's what I was thinking. I was just gonna hand them out at work to people when they actually sit through a shitty tattoo. You're like, hey, you got your ribs done.
You got a
Here's
fucking
your banana.
trophy. Jesus.
Just gonna decorate my whole shop, and so people
Jesus.
think I have all these awards, but they're just dumb. $20 piece of plastic.
All right, guys. Listen, we love you so much. Thank you, Mo, for coming on.
Thank you.
You're awesome. I can't wait to see where this goes
Excited.
for sure. Everybody that tuned in tonight, thank you for the shares, the likes, the comments. We love you guys.
We're gonna send it over to Yee Yee.
100%.
No.
A yeet.
All right, so we're gonna do Yee